Whether you're a Saudi oil prince or unable to afford rent, today I'm going to show you guys the best knives for every budget, starting with the cheapest. For under $80, there's only a handful of knives you could get. The cheapest in CS2 started around $73 cash, but Shadow Daggers, Boreal Forest, and Fuel Tested are without a doubt the cleanest. Shadow Daggers tend to not show a lot of wear in general, so for the cheaper knives, there's going to be a lot of them. The Rustcoat Shadow Daggers and the Rustcoat Navaja are also the exact same $73 to $75 price, but those are the very cheapest knives you could get in the CS2. For $90, you'll be able to get a Navaja Damascus Steel in minimal wear, which is a nice bright knife for its price. Just around $100, you'll be able to get a Huntsman Rustcoat, which currently looks a bit weird in CS2. Usually they're all orange, which looks good, but they just got changed yesterday for some reason. Just over that, the Ursus DD-Pat in Field Tested is great for $110. It's another knife that doesn't show too much wear at all. But let me tell you where to actually get these knives for these prices. CSGO Empire has a ton of skins listed at cheaper than buff price, and you might be thinking, isn't that a gambling site? Partially, but not entirely. They have an entire marketplace dedicated to peer-to-peer buying and selling with 0% fees, and if you sort by the best deals, you'll easily find stuff cheaper than buff. As you can see here, these gloves are 3.36% off. You can easily flip them for profit, and Empire also offers any deposit method you could think of, including many different cryptos and real money options. And you're able to withdraw with all of these options, including USDC, which you could turn to cash instantly. Of course, there's no wager requirement on any deposit either, so be sure to check them out with that link in the description and start getting skins for cheaper than buff today. For just over $125, the Bowie Brightwater is another clean option. It's not very bright like a Damascus Steel, but it does practically no wear. But now we're going to finally get into some nicer knives from $150 to $200. The Shadow Daggers Tiger Tooth are blinding in CS2. They're one of the first good skins you could get in this price range too, along with the Slaughter on the Gut Knife, Shadow Daggers, and even the Navaja as well. They're all similar prices, so you could have the choice between the three. Just above $200 is where the Dopplers start to come in. They'll still be on some of the lower end knives like Shadow Daggers, but you do have the choice between Gamma Dopplers and normal Dopplers. The Phase 1 Gut Gamma Doppler is the best knife in my opinion for under this $300 price range. Not to mention there's a lot of demand for these Gamma Dopplers and they've maintained and increased at a solid price. If you worry about your skin decreasing or fluctuating a lot, Gamma Dopplers have held strong through all the recent events and all the crashes that a lot of the other skin market has gone through. From $300 to $400, you've got a couple good options. The Shadow Daggers Fade are very clean and cheap for a Fade knife. The Bayonet Damascus Steel will give you a good clean animation and a nice bright knife in minimal wear, and the Huntsman Marble Fade starts at $380. It's a great option if you want a better animation and a perfect skin with it. From $400 to $500, you'll have a lot of good options. The Huntsman Gamma Doppler specifically in Phase 1 is my favorite, but if you want a flip knife, you could also scoop up a Doppler for just under the $500 mark. And from $500 to $600, you'll be able to get an M9 Damascus Steel in Field Tested. You can also scoop up either a Survival Knife Fade, Paracord Fade for just under $600 as well, and I figure I mentioned those because I know people either love or hate the animations for these two knives, but I figure they're worth mentioning. Above $600, you'll finally be able to get your first cleaner butterfly knife in the minimal wear Boreal Forest. Or this might seem like a weird pick, but I have a Battle Scar Butterfly Crimson Web at just under $700. The silver on the knife shines really brightly in game and it looks bloodstained. It's probably my favorite knife I have. Even though it's a weird pick, I really like it. And from $700 to $800, you'll be able to get the Karambit Crimson Web, which is surprisingly clean in CS2. Hopefully that doesn't change. And then the Skeleton Knife Slaughter is the first good skin you'll find for that knife. It's at this price range. At $800 to $900, the M9 Autotronic in Well Worn is really clean. You can't even tell it has wear. You could also get the M9 Slaughter for a similar price, or a Bayonet Gamma Doppler for just over the $800 mark. And finally, $900 to $1,000. The Talon Doppler and Talon Marble Fade are two of my very top choices. It just depends on your preference. The Marble Fade is $50 cheaper. But for me personally, the Bayonet Fade is my favorite knife in this price range. And it's actually $50 cheaper in StatTrak right now. So if you want to scoop it up, it's definitely my favorite knife I've got right now. and I own a Bowie Sapphire. I'm not even going to mention Sapphires because how scuffed they are in this recent update and how good Gamma Doppler Phase 1s compare to them. And also with CSGO Empire, for example, if you want to buy an Ursus knife, vanilla, or just get a skin worth around the same amount, they're $547 right now. We can calculate 547 times 0.614, since that's what coins convert to, $335, and on Buff they're $342, so it's $7 cheaper if you just put your money on Empire and buy there. No trade hold because it's peer-to-peer, you're going to get that skin right away, and then you could either wait a week or sell it on Buff, or just keep your assist knife. Either way, it's a great way to save money, and of course you could do it with more expensive skins as well. There's really good deals in here. Link to Empire, of course, will be at the top of the description. 0% fees as well.